Welcome to the Sarah Scoop Show. It's time to get the scoop with Sarah.
Well, my name is Ryan Paevey. I am a Los Angeles-based actor, which is a strange thing for me to say. I never thought that that would be my future, but I'm grateful it worked out the way that it did. I'm here to talk to you today about my new film for Hallmark Channel, A Timeless Christmas. Sure. Well, A Timeless Christmas is a time-traveling love story. I play Charles Whitley, sort of self-made man, and the film kind of takes place in two times. In 1903, I am engaged to be married, and I've purchased a gift for my fiancée, sort of a marriage of circumstance and not necessarily of love. And I've purchased a clock for my fiancée, and Charles Whitley's a bit of a tinkerer, and I'm working on it, and somehow or another, I have a bit of a fainting spell, and I wake up 100 years in the future with absolutely no idea what's going on, how to get back, where I am, who these people are in my house, and all sorts of stuff. And I'm greeted by the lovely Erin Cahill, who plays Megan, who's going to be kind of my ambassador to the future, which is now my present, shall we say. And all kinds of misadventures occur, and as I try to figure out a way to go back to my own time. And along the way, maybe decide whether or not that's what I actually want. I learned some things about the past. I learned some things about myself and about my new present that, I don't know, might make it the place that I want to stay. So prior to this, I wasn't super familiar with Erin's work, but I mean, I've said it a million times now. This is really kind of like the dream team on this film. Shooting this film was super great. Ron and I have worked together a whole bunch. I know Thomas, who's our DP. I know Lincoln, the producer. There were so many familiar faces, and Erin and I had never met prior to this film, but like from day one, instant BFFs, super fast friends. It was an absolute joy to work with. She's magic. You'll see when you watch the film. I basically do my best the whole time to kind of just hide behind her because she's so charming. It's like kind of obnoxious in the best way. But she's great. I mean, we text like all the time ever since the film. We've all kind of become, you know, the five amigos, kind of super excited for Sunday. It was really a charmed experience. I'm really pleased with what we made, and I hope everybody loves it as much as we did making it. Yeah. So, I mean, it is a very unique direction for Hallmark to take storytelling. And I was super stoked that we got to be the ones to do this. I love all things science fiction and time travel. I find very fascinating. So getting to kind of experience a bit of that, I mean, it's not quite Back to the Future, but to experience a bit of that in the Hallmark setting was fantastic. And like I said, I mean, I got to work with Erin, I got to work with Ron, I got to work with all these great people and tell this really, really cool story. So I loved that element of it. And there's a bit of a challenge to it as well, to, as an actor, create some subtle shift as a man from the past learns how to find his place in a new present, shall we say. And I mean, just like my character found Megan to be kind of a guiding light in that process, I did too. So Yeah. No, there's definitely one. And I've talked about it a couple of times. So there's kind of like a weird little grassroots movement that maybe we can get the footage from this day, because it'd be like the best blooper reel thing ever for any Hallmark movie I've ever done. So I'm this guy from the past, and I show up in the future, and I'm telling everybody I'm from the past, and they think I'm crazy, as one would. And we end up in the police station. I'm talking to the sheriff. I'm trying to explain to him all these things that are true, that I was born in X and such a year. This is my home. Like, what are these people? All this stuff. And he's just kind of looking at me like, yeah, and Megan is frantically trying to cover up the fact that I just keep making things worse. The more I talk, the worse it sounds. So she's kind of trying to convince him that I'm an actor in the home and not a crazy person, that I'm just like a really committed actor, and you should maybe not arrest me. And it comes to the point of my name, and she's like, his name is Charles Garland. And I don't know, I don't have the comedic chops that she's got. I can't do it the way that she did. But I swear I could not keep my face straight. We must have shot that scene like 17 times, because I'm supposed to be super straight-laced and serious in this scene. And I just was losing it, man. I could not I couldn't stop laughing. I was crying, and like I could see the camera guys are crying. The boom mic above us is shaking because it was super funny. So I'm really hoping that we can, after the film airs, that we can get some of the behind the scenes of that scene, because that was hysterical. Everybody was laughing. She's gold, man. She's gold. It was great. We were laughing about it while we were shooting it. We laughed about it for weeks afterwards. Like Garland has kind of become the joke. So that was definitely my favorite. It was great. I've not been brought to tears on a set like that, like maybe ever. No, so part of the beauty of these stories for Hallmark is that they're not studio pictures. Like, it's not a set. We go on location. We go to places. And it's really strange for me to kind of like to talk to folks about like the craft of acting as if I have any sort of, you know, insight or anything like that. But I can definitely tell you that shooting on a location like that and wearing those clothes and things like that, there's something about that ceremony almost. It changes the way you walk. It changes the way you talk. It changes the way the scenes feel. It's different than shooting it on like a sound stage with, you know, 46 people in an enclosed room and they're all staring at you. We got numbers, lights above you that all have numbers on them, and somebody will call out, we need 512. I don't know. It's different on a location like this. And you'll see in the film, as I'm sure you've seen in the previews, the locations in this film are stunning. They're super beautiful. And that was kind of a common remark throughout the film, is we would just look around and just, oh my God, we get to shoot here. Look at this place. It's beautiful. So that was great. I mean, the wardrobe is really cool. Like, you put that coat on and you feel different. I don't know. I loved it. I even managed to keep a couple of pieces. So it was cool. I mean, so the joke among everybody that knows me is that I'm kind of born in the wrong year, wrong decade, wrong century. I don't know, pick your designation. So I know a bit about, you know, various time periods, kind of being a little bit of a history buff. I go back a little farther. I'm more of a kind of a medieval nerd, but really it's Ron's influence. Ron knows all of this stuff, and the way he writes the character, it's easy, you know, like the work was really kind of done for me. It was just sitting there on the pages. I just had to find a way to make the words sound true coming out of my face. So I don't know. I mean, he's a serious, self-made, strongly, fiercely independent man who's kind of lost his sense of self now, having transported to the future. I have no money. I have no job. I have my house, but it's kind of not my house anymore. I don't know. So there's a lot of stuff going on there, but it really kind of does boil down to the writing is fantastic. That makes it much easier. And being surrounded by, you know, a team, like a really strong group of performers. We're all collaborators. We're all on the same team. We want this to be really, really good. Having that kind of a relationship with the people that you work with is always going to make the things that you do better, because we can do a take and then go back over to Video Village and look at it really fast and be like, I don't know, man, I think I could do that first part. We do that a little bit better. Let's do that again. And nobody freaks out. Nobody gets angry and stuff like that. We're all on the same team. We want this to be a good film. So, you know, with really, really good writing and great teammates, you can tell any story you want. Really, honestly, I'm just excited for them to get to see a different species of storytelling from Hallmark. This is unique. You know, this was cool. And the moment that, you know, I remember my first couple of conversations about shooting this film, I was like, this is different. This is different. I'm just excited for them to see what we made, man. I'm proud of it. You know, we all worked really, really hard. Some really talented people were involved in this. We had great synergy. We had a lot of fun. I hope that shows through on the film. We really did have a blast. Like, we're great friends as a result of it. We have a little Zoom meeting on Saturday to catch up with each other about what's been going on. And, you know, I mean, I'm really proud of it. It was a blast. I got to work with some of my favorite people. I think it's a cool story. I think everybody's really going to love it. Oh man, you'd throw me under the bus a little bit on that. So I have a difficult time with the word favorite. I have a hard time because I always find something from everything that I like. I like all of them. And I'm sure everybody that gets interviewed says, oh no, this one that I did was my favorite. But this one, I think really was though. I've never had this level of synergy, like with everybody, especially in the midst of COVID and all the weird stuff that's going on and things like that. This wouldn't have worked if we didn't all get along as well as we did, you know? And coming to work was fun. I had some health stuff going on, and it was still a blast for me anyways. Like I've never had this level of experience shooting a film before. Not to say that any of my others have been bad, because they haven't. I'm a lucky guy. I've had really positive working experiences basically the whole way through. But this has got to be my favorite, man. We really got the dream team on this one. They're some of my favorite humans that I like to hang out with, but to get to work with them is awesome. We text each other at night, like, what are you doing? Well, you want to get some food? Let's go get dinner. Let's go. I'm hungry. And then, you know, like maybe their pickup is at 8 and my pickup is at 10, but I'm like, nah, I'll just go with you. What else am I doing? I'm going to be there in a couple hours anyway. So then we hang out, we go get breakfast. And it just was a really, really positive experience for me. So I enjoyed it. Like I said, this is the dream team. If I could make movies with them for the rest of my life, I would. I don't know that my family doesn't have a ton of like Christmas traditions. My mom and I have a little weird one. We kind of go down to the beach and I cook some lobster at home and maybe we have a little bit of champagne, which I was recently informed is a misdemeanor, but we do it anyways. It's all in good fun, totally innocent. It's just me and mom. But honestly, you know, my dad's kind of abroad right now. I just want to see my family and catch up with them. It's been a while. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want to see everybody. Just be nice to be in the same place. I'm a big gift giver, but not very good at receiving. So I'm also kind of looking forward to getting to spoil the family a little bit, which will be kind of fun. Darcy, Unleashing Mr. Darcy was my very first. And there's a bit of a strange story behind it, is that I had gone and auditioned for another part in another film some months before that and had booked it. And we were really excited to begin working with Hallmark. And then I got in a motorcycle accident and I had to back out. And I remember calling my reps, and I was still on the soap opera at the time. I was in General Hospital at the time. I was calling all of the powers that be, shall we say, that, hey, I've been in an accident and I'm not going to die, but I look a little different. I'm going to be in the hospital for a little while. I probably got to have surgery. Like, I'm pretty busted up. And I was super bummed because I thought for sure that, you know, I mean, this is not how you want to start a working relationship. Hey guys, thanks for the job, but I can't do it anymore. I know we signed all the things, but I can't. And they gave me a second shot. Some months later, I was out to dinner and we got a phone call about Unleashing Mr. Darcy. And we shot that. And the rest is history, man. That was my start. That was the beginning. So I came in, you know, I guess it really started with, I auditioned just the way everybody else did. I came in, I remember I had pages, and it wasn't for the Darcy film, it was for a different one, but I came in and did my thing. And I was blown away that I was kind of given a second chance with Unleashing Mr. Darcy. And that was the beginning of almost decade-long working relationship now. I mean, it's fantastic. It's always, like I said, I had kind of an unconventional journey into acting as a craft. And so I definitely suffer from imposter syndrome a little bit. I show up on set and I'm like, I'm just a grunt, man. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'll be here to fix your toilet. I grew up in construction, so I used to do a lot of handyman stuff and things like that. And a significant amount of that's kind of still in my mind. So I'm always blown away when I get onto these sets and I see all these performers, and, you know, there's so many moving parts in a machine this size, and to see them all kind of working in synergy is really impressive. So I feel very lucky that I get to work with who I get to work with, and very inspired quite frequently. So it's been a great. Sure. I mean, like I said before, I mean, I grew up working with my hands a little bit. And while I was on the soap opera, I kind of took up some arts and crafts stuff just as a hobby. It was never intended to be a business, but it kind of evolved into one over the years. My spare bedroom in my house is my workshop, and it's a tinkerer's wonderland in there, man. I got so much stuff in there. I've got an electroforming setup right now, welding station, brazing and soldering, a whole bunch of wire work, metal stamping, like, oh, there's all kinds of stuff going on in there. As soon as we hang up here, that's where I'm going. So yeah, so I make all kinds of handmade jewelry and things like that. There'll probably be some clothing and some photography back on the website again next year. Unfortunately, I couldn't get everything right in time for Christmas. But I am going to do another big release on the 6th at fortunatewanderer.com. There'll be all kinds of goodies that I made, and I make them. So I'm having a blast. There'll be next year, we're going to start transitioning into having items made and stuff like that. It puts a lot of pressure on me as like kind of a sole maker of things that, I mean, And I'm also a bit of a workaholic. I'll go in there and log hours and hours and hours. My hands are all chewed up and there's chemicals and torches and all sorts of things like that. Answering the emails and taping the boxes shut and running them to the post office. And shipping things this year has been complicated, shall we say. But yeah, it's definitely been a labor of love, shall we say. And I got a bunch more goodies coming up in a couple of weeks. So if you're watching and you're not already on the mailing list, get on that website, get on the mailing list, because that's where the updates happen. There'll probably be an email here shortly. I mean, all I can really say is thank you. You know, I'm really, really grateful for the support that I've received. And it still blows my mind that anybody, I don't know, maybe it's self-deprecating of me, but it still blows my mind a little bit that anybody actually wants to watch the stories that I tell. So I'm supremely grateful that they've kind of been along for the ride. I hope they stick around for the rest of it. I don't know where we're going, but it won't be boring.
Thank you for watching The Sarah Scoop Show. Head to sarahscoop.com for more.